Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a whole new episode of Full Steam Ahead. I am your host, Zoe Cantu, Other Side, episode 223, R.I.P. Minute Maid Park.
I like the name. I like the name. I
Rest in
mean,
peace.
this is what the third name change: Enron Field, Minute Maid Park, and now
And at a time, it was called the Astros Field.
what was it
Yeah,
for a short stint?
for a short stint. That was when Enron had filed bankruptcy and all that good
Yeah, I
stuff.
got you. I got you. I mean, but it was a good run. It was a good run. I think I have a new nickname, but I can tell you that once once we go over the new name and all that stuff. But yeah, I mean, how are you?
Oh, we are doing fantastic. Terrific Tuesday. We want to address that, or
Yeah,
what kind of which T would you go with? Thriving.
thriving. Yeah, terrific's fine. Yeah, I
Terrific,
mean,
terrific Tuesday, I would say.
Texans won.
Texas did.
Little. Now we get to talk a little baseball. Just keep it going. Yeah, I like it. Of
Yeah, we were gonna originally record yesterday, but Texans were on Monday Night Football,
course.
Battle of Texas. Of course, we both knew that the Texans were just gonna blow out the Cowboys. Sorry to all the Cowboy fans if you are listening to this podcast. Yeah, Cooper Rush ain't the answer. CD Lamb getting stopped by Derek Stingley. That team is just complete bad. I mean, from the top, literally from the top of AT&T Stadium, all the way to the bottom on the field. So, yeah, you got to feel for them Cowboy fans right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's it's not a good time to be a Cowboys fan, I guess, for those Cowboy fans out there. But I sent in my group, like in my baseball group chat, there's a bunch of Cowboy fans in there. So like, I don't know if you've seen the meme where it's like Bart Simpson, he's like kind of down, and they're like, say the line, and it's like me them boys, and everybody's laughing around that. So that was the meme of the day.
Dude, the admin of the Texans, whoever the
Oh
person
yeah.
is just cooking up a storm on nothing but Cowboy stuff, dude. It
Did you
is
see the
so
roof falling one?
yes. It's
That was pretty
just literally cooking them up. But yeah, shout out to them Texan boys out there, man. They did their job. CJ Stroud. I just think it's a better dynamic with Nico Collins when he's on that field, man.
Oh yeah. Well, did you see that first play of the game that could would have been an open the first play
Exactly.
touchdown? Uh, I was, you know, I think if that would have counted, the momentum going to the rest of the game would have been astronomical.
Well, I mean, think about it. 3 touchdowns from Joe Mixon, 150 plus yards. I mean,
It's a beast.
yeah, Pro Bowl off. He could honestly be an all first team
I think so.
choice for the NFL.
But this is not bringing the blitz. Check those out.
Yes,
They
bring on the
continue.
Blitz on the Arskina podcast network. They will be talking about the Houston Texans. I'm pretty sure if they're not recording today, I think they record either on Tuesdays or Wednesdays. But they do have all the info about the Houston Texans, of course, as the rest of the National Football League, but Texans specifically, that they'll talk more about it. Of course, we're here. We're Texan fans, but this is a Houston Astros podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. But let's get the show on the road. I mean, just in case you forget where to find us, it's up there on top of my head. If you forget where to listen to us, that's the top of Lorenzo's head. But start it off, Zoe. What you got for us today?
Yes, definitely. So, like I said, the title of this is R.I.P. Minute Maid Park. We're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about Alex Bregman declining that qualifying offer, which honestly was going to happen no matter what.
Yeah.
The Astros 40-man roster. I think there's one slot still available in that roster. I think there's only 39 players at the moment
Yeah.
as we are recording this today. So we'll figure maybe something comes up in the middle of the time, but until then, 39 guys on the roster and around the horn as Rookie of the Year has been finalized as well as the Manager of the Years for both leagues. So let's start off with RP Minute Maid Park podcast dedicated to the juice box right here. Houston Astros and Daikin Comfort Technologies North America Incorporated, which is called Daikin, announced they have reached an agreement on a 15-year exclusive naming rights partnership that brands the home of the Astros as Daikin Park. For a second, I didn't know what Daikin was, so I had to go do some research, some information. And Daikin is your right go-to place to go get all the AC, all the Havoc equipment, I guess you can say, really.
Yeah.
Heating, air conditioning, ventilation, even refrigeration as well. If you did not know that, so keep your eyes out there if you're looking for an AC unit, especially in Houston in this hot ass weather in Texas. But I did not know this. Daikin constructed and operates a 4.2 million square foot campus, the largest havoc manufacturing facility in North America, and is located in Waller, Texas.
Just down the street.
You would have told me this, I would have not gone. And we've gone all our times going up 290 to Texas A&M College Station. I mean,
Yeah.
I've never seen no huge building saying Daikin. The only thing I see is Buc-ee's. That's pretty much it.
Yeah. I mean, we can't forget about Buc-ee's.
You can. It's one of the best gas station stops in Texas. Of course, it's already nationwide already, if I'm not mistaken
so.
too.
Yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, part of the greater Houston community, Daikin provides jobs for approximately 10,000 people in the great Houston area. Of course, they're going to continue on being partners in the community with the Astros. But Daikin will finally take over the naming rights as the Astros Stadium beginning on January 1, 2025. So Minute Maid Park is still going to be Minute Maid Park from all the way to December 31st, 2024. But when that ball drops from New York, it will be officially Daikin Park.
Yeah. So I know you were there when this was all going on. What did they say about the train and like all the, I guess, new renovations that will take place?
So yeah, that was like the biggest question when they had like asked if anybody have questions. Someone had asked. I mean, that was like the most important question, I guess, for a Houstonian was about the oranges on the back of the Union Station train. And this is what Jim Crane, this is what he had said out of his mouth. He said, quote, "That'll be a surprise. We do have something we're working on. We will show it on opening day."
Nice. So stay tuned to that.
What do you think that would be if you had to take a good educated guess? You think they're going to put a big ass AC unit in, and where that train that, I don't know, what would you call it? A little cart? Where
Yeah, a little trailer.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's my guess. At least one big AC unit. I've heard people say ice cubes, but knowing this weather, they'll melt like literally the day of opening day.
That's tough because I mean, like the oranges made sense. You know how you carry the cargo, right? I don't know. I mean, it could be. I honestly don't think it'll be like a whole AC thing. I don't know. Maybe like I really don't know. Like, maybe orbit up in there or something. I don't know.
Why would Orbit be on the train?
I don't know. I really don't know.
I mean, Orbit has to do his own duties on the field, man.
No, but I'm saying I'm saying not orbit, but like I'm saying like maybe like a model of orbit or something like that. Like like just
so like a statue of Orbit,
just or something like that. Yeah, holding a flag or something. I don't know.
But think about it too. If that's the point, I mean, if you're gonna make that case, when the opposing team and the Astros hit BP on the field, and they hit that statue, one of the antennas are gonna be breaking off.
Hey, I think at that point you deserve that because if you hit the ball way up there, I guess that's your little reward because it's kind of hard to hit the ball way out there.
Unless they like take away the oranges, the color orange, obviously, and possibly make it baseballs. That's the other solution you can go with. But yeah, that puts you in a predicament if you're the Astros, what you're going to replace that with. I think they've already been brainstorming, at least for Jim Crane to say, we'll have a surprise on opening day.
Yeah. So, I mean, they're going to come up with something. Just stay tuned for that would be. But I have a new nickname for the for Minute Maid, former Minute Maid Park, for Daikin Park or Daikin Park. Sorry, is it Daikin or Daikin?
I heard Daikin when we're out there. So
Daikin,
the senior vice president, president CEO of Daikin was saying Daikin.
Oh, so there you go. Because there was some confusion. I think I'm trying to put the comment out there.
Got you. It's pronounced Daikin. Joshua, my man, it's Daikin. It's Daikin Park.
Perfect. But instead of the juice box, it's gonna be called the ice box now. Like hopefully, I was strolling through Twitter, and what a bunch of fans would always complain about is the AC. So maybe now the AC for the Astros, now that they have this sponsor, they can get an upgrade on that. And
that's what I was gonna say too. Like, you're having a naming of the stadium after a Havoc Industry
A track, I think.
company. Yeah, the AC unit. I expect Minute Maid Park to be blowing with that AC. I expect it to be 60 degrees
Even
up
in
in
the
that
press
stadium.
box, it's hot in the press box.
So,
Like,
I'll say no to that. Sometimes it's a little chilly, but
nah.
majority of the time, yes, I do agree. It's kind of a little warm in there, but yeah, Daikin Park, man. As a Houstonian, a former, you know, Astros fan, I guess you could say too, because we are not we're unbiased here. We did grow up watching the Astros, but all them times, it's unfortunate, but a business. It's a business at this point. And growing up, Minute Maid Park. I mean, from the Astrodome to Minute Maid Park, I guess you could say Enron Field too,
Yeah.
but not enough years and memories for that. But Minute Maid Park, like I mentioned, I mean, I was lucky enough to go when I was little to like the All Star game, the Home Run Derby. Um, Fortunate enough to see a World Series game at Minute Maid Park, the first one especially against the White Sox. I remember where I was, me and my mom, just in the stands. We weren't like in the seats or anything like that. But I remember my mom putting me on top of how them beer things, like if you wanted to get an ice beverage like a Coke or lemonade or a beer, it's in like one of them tubs that opens up like
Hmm.
that and you just flatten it like that. Well, I was sitting on one of them things when I saw Rafael Palmeiro get that last out at first base when the White Sox swept the Astros. But yeah, I mean at the same time too, just making new memories now at this ballpark with family. But the old ones are always going to stay there no matter what.
I will say this: if this new name change can secure, uh, Kyle Tucker can secure Alex Bregman and Fran Valdez with all the extra cash they're getting, everybody will forget on about it because I think that's been the biggest thing. I've been scrolling through, like I'm very active on Twitter, just looking at what the reaction was to this name change, and a lot of Astros fans were unhappy, but they could be unhappy now. But like I'm saying, like if the extra money they get from this 15-year brand can help the Astros keep superstars and bring in more superstars, I think by all means you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, like I said, at the end of the day, it's a business, and obviously, like you said, if there's a way that the Astros can get Alex Bregman, Kyle Tucker, I mean, all the superstars, shit, they can even go after Juan Soto right now if they wanted to. Um, that'd be good because I think at the end of the day, that's what fans are caring about. Of course, the name. Like you said, you've been active on Twitter, on social media. I mean, you've seen a lot of people are like, I don't know about that. We even put a poll out there. I want to say,
Yeah.
asking everybody what were their thoughts, if they digged it, if they not really liking it, or nah, just don't like it at all. A lot of the fans were saying they didn't like it at all. Second being and then digging it would be the last place of the poll. But yeah, if they could find a way to get some type of extra money to bring back, some of these Astro players, future Astro players that are going to be free agents pretty soon, or even going after free agents, I think that's what the fans really just care about at this point.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's not about like how you were saying. It's at the end of the day, it's about the product, not the name. So yeah.
Yeah. So even another thing right here, real quick. Daikin has invested more than 1 billion in the Houston area, including more than 500 million in building Daikin, Texas Technology Park. And that park is located in Waller, Texas, like we were mentioning, being the largest in North America. So they're very active in the city of Houston. So possibly
Right.
they could be active with the Houston Astros in free agency. Maybe that would make a big difference maker.
That could be, but I guess we just gotta stay tuned for that, and stay tuned for what's gonna be behind the train.
Yeah, that one I think is a lot on fans' minds because the oranges are just iconic. I would say on the back of that locomotive. But to put away Minute Maid Park, the stadium has been named Minute Maid Park. Of course, if you did not know, Angel did kind of touch up on this since 2002. And Minute Maid will continue to be a partner of the Houston Astros through 2029. So you won't see Minute Maid Park signage around the stadium, outside, inside. You won't see anything like that, but you will see the Minute Maid products. That I would believe it's owned by Coca Cola,
Hmm.
if I'm not mistaken. So, and they're
Yeah.
based out of Sugarland. I did not know that.
Oh, I didn't know that either.
Yeah, their operations over there in Sugarland, Texas, where the Space Cowboys are. But Yeah, if people were very concerned about Minute Maid products like orange juice, I think they produce High C, if I'm not mistaken. Um,
Lemonade.
yeah, obviously the lemonade too. That will be in Houston, well, in Daikin Park from all the way to 2029. But Daikin Park is already getting new things coming up. Obviously, this season for 2025, 2026, the World Baseball Classic will be coming to Houston. So that's already a big step for Daikin Park, starting off their journey as the new name of the Houston Astros home ballpark.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we'll see what the future holds for that stadium.
But like I said, 15 years all the way to 2039. R.I.P. Minute Maid Park. Let's move on. Alex Bregman. That's another guy that maybe that money from Daikin could give to the Gold Glover in the hot corner. But Alex Bregman denied his qualifying offer. If you remember, that is a 1 year, $21.05 million qualifying offer to the free agents that are going to be, well, that are already free agents at this point, but the teams have that ability to give them that contract. I think the only one, if I'm not mistaken, that has accepted it, and this was a guy that you had talked about, is Nick Martinez of the
Yeah,
Cincinnati Reds.
yeah. I was gonna mention that because I know Alex Bregman denying this brings like a lot of like negativity from fans. It's like, oh, how did they only give him that much? It's like it's just a procedure. It was gonna happen. And yeah, like you said, he was the only player to accept out of all the star players. So it's just a routine that they got to go through.
Yeah, every team does this whenever it comes to free agents. So for that, obviously the qualifying offer happens. If the player doesn't accept the qualifying offer, meaning Juan Soto, Pete Alonso, Christian Walker, Alex Bregman, well, the team in return will receive a compensation pick. And for the Astros, it will be in the fourth round if, big emphasis on if, Alex Bregman signs with another team. So let's say, for example, Bregman signs with the Boston Red Sox. Well, the Astros will get that compensation pick, and that pick will be in the fourth round. There are different teams that have different, what you call it, like different rounds. Like for their picks, it's a different round. So, for instance, D-backs after the first round, if a player signs for 50 million, and Christian Walker, like I said, did not accept that qualifying offer, then the D-backs, Brewers, Orioles, and Orioles twice would receive a first round pick. Well, not first round pick, after the first round, I meant to say. So second round, third round, etc. And like I was saying with the Astros, they only get a pick after the fourth round. Same goes for the Mets with Peter Alonso, Sean Manaea, and Luis Severino. Braves with Max Fried, Yankees with Juan Soto, and Dodgers with Teoscar Hernandez. So that's really good, because at the end the Astros won't lose anything if Bregman decides to walk away from them and him going to another team. The Astros will receive some type of compensation, being a fourth round or after pick.
Yeah. Also, something to note is that a player is only eligible to receive one qualifying offer in their career. So, if, for example, if, for example, Alex Bregman signs a 1 year contract, maybe he didn't get the money he was looking for, like a Blake Snell or something, or like something like that.
Yeah.
After that year, no qualifying offer would be accepted. So just a thing to look out for. I don't know how free agency is gonna be working on, but Alex Bregman is one of the top third basemen, if not the top third baseman that's out there. So I mean, it's gonna be a bunch of bidders. So we'll see what the money says. I know the biggest deal is probably be the Juan Soto deal, but I think I wouldn't be surprised if Alex Bregman gets a little overpay as well.
Yeah, there have been rumors. And of course, we don't know if it's true. We're not speculating anything. But there has been a rumor that Scott Boras and himself, Alex Bregman, are looking for a contract that's over 300 million.
I don't think he gets it.
That's the same thing as me. Well, I was going to say, in my opinion, I don't think he gets that. Age is a factor. The numbers have kind of regressed from 2019 down. Still a great player, but 300 million for Bregman, I just don't see it happening.
At this point, say the price tag is over 200 for Alex Bregman. And I know, I think it's for John Morosi, you said that Willie Adames was on the Astros radar as well. moving him to third. Again, that's what we talked about. Like shortstops moving to third base is not an unnatural thing. It happens all the time. Alex Rodriguez, Alex Bregman, guys like
Xander
that.
Bogaerts going
Xander
from
Bogart.
short to second.
Yeah, so it happens all the time. Would you be opposed to that move if the Astros can't get Alex Bregman having Willy Adames, who power numbers are through the roof in Milwaukee? Imagine him with a short porch in the Crawford boxes. What do you think with that?
I like the idea. The OPS numbers are great. Home run and RBI ratio too. I think it was like 38 to 101 or 100 something RBIs. The batting average wasn't there, of course, 250, 240, but the
Power
OPS,
hitter.
but the OPS plus WOBA, even on base percentage, that comes into place when you're looking for players in the free agent market, because you're gonna need a guy that's gonna get on base. Alex Bregman has a great eye at the plate. That's gonna be reasoning why the on base percentage is really high. But like back to Willy Adames, like you said, that's over there at American Family Field in Milwaukee. Just imagine at Minute Maid Park, 315. I don't know the dimensions in left over there at Milwaukee, but if I had to guess, it'd be like 330, 325. But I wouldn't be opposed if the Astros do look to try to make a move for Adames. But at the same time, too, it's going to be at the end of the day, it's going to be decided at the player if he's going to want to do that position change. Some people might like to do it. Some people are kind of iffy about it, but I'm not speaking for Adames, but for him being on a team that's been to the playoffs, really specifically just haven't really passed that first round, trying to get to better, like to the World Series, then Houston's a great fit. Obviously, the Dodgers have been tossed their name around with him. So yeah, I think I wouldn't be opposed if Bregman does decide to move on for the Astros and go look at that option.
If Adames signs with the Houston, he's moving in third base. Yeah, like there's no question about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like for example, say the A's offered him the same amount the A's offered him the same amount of money as the Astros to play shortstop, and the Astros offered him, equal values to play third base. He's playing third base. Like there's
no doubt about it.
Like,
nothing against the A's. Nothing against the A's. But
yeah.
No doubt about it. Come on now.
That's what I'm saying. So, I mean, as a player, and again, like you see it all the time in baseball. It's not like we're football or, like it's not like football where you're stuck to one position. It's more like basketball a little bit where they say these defensive players where you can plug them in anywhere, like the utility guys, right?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, most players want to win and they want to collect their bag, and sometimes you gotta sacrifice a position change. Miguel Cabrera went from third base to first. If Miguel Cabrera, who won a Triple Crown MVP, is okay with moving positions, I'm sure Willy Adames is okay with moving positions too.
Well, just think about we had this discussion off here. Jackson Merrill, he was an infielder as a prospect, and the list of infielders in the Padres system. I mean, Machado, you could put Profar or Cronenworth, Ha-Seong Kim, Xander Bogaerts, we've talked about just recently, just now. Think about him. Infielder, went to the outfield.
In that same team, Fernando Tatis too.
Exactly. Shortstop, and won a platinum glove. Yeah. To remind people.
Jazz Chisenhall, second base, center field, third base.
Think about it.
So, I mean.
The possibility is there. But at the end of the day, like I've mentioned, it's just going to factor into the player. And like you said, if it was the Astros saying, okay, well, we'll sign you, but you have to play third base, and the A's said, well, you could be our shortstop and we'll give you the same amount of money as the Astros.
He's playing third base.
Like he's going to play third base. Like you would think, but I mean, of course we don't know. And then just think about too in the future, if the Astros decide, and like if this happens, if Adames does play third base, and of course through the years happen, depending honestly on his contract, if it's going to be a 6+ or 5+ year, Jerry Payne is going to hit arbitration. And I don't know if the Astros will still have Bryce Matthews in their farm system, but if they do, and they decide to move on from Pena, then you slide Matthews to short. That's if that happens. Yeah. I would think. My opinion.
Yeah. I mean, and Willy Adames has a strong arm too. So, I mean, it's like his arm strength is at the 75th percentile. So, I mean, that's not an issue. His range, though, for a shortstop is a little low. 68 for range infielder. I mean, third base you don't got to move that much. It just makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it wouldn't. And John Morosi made a great point. I mean, think about it: Adames at third, Pena at short, Jose Altuve at second. First base is still up in the air if it's going to be one of the guys from the farm or if they're going to sign a veteran first baseman. But I mean, that's pretty damn stacked. On the left side, you got a good players. Adames too has been Gold Glove finalist. I think this year he wasn't, but in the past. So honestly, it wouldn't be a bad fit. And both them guys too on the left side know each other. Recently, just playing in the WBC together. So I think it would be a good fit for the Astros if they decide to move on from Alex Bregman, because like we mentioned the last episode, there's not a lot of options at third base. There's really not. And for the trade market too, you've mentioned about Alec Bohm. Well, what would the price be for getting a guy like Bohm? Because think about it, the Astros really don't have great of a farm system. They're not the best farm system out there. And not to mention, Nolan Arenado has been a name thrown out, but the AAV on his contract is just too much, I would say.
If the Astros want to get, well, we're thinking about this trade. Ryan Presley, Bryce Matthews for Alec Bohm.
Would it be opposed?
Because the thing is, if you bring another third baseman, Matthews is blocked. And we had this discussion, the discussion last time. I mean, so at the end of the day, I mean, Presley for Matthews for Alec Bohm. I mean, that to me, that's a good.
But are you going to see another consistent year from Alec Bohm? Last year was his first year, and he kind of regressed in that second half. I'm not saying that he's not the best third baseman,
but he was a rookie 2 years ago.
Did he come up at 20, if I'm not mistaken, or 21?
He came up. Let me see. I'm looking at it right now. Consistently, he came up in 21.
Okay.
I mean, and he's been
reminder to people. This was a guy that the Phillies had to do a standing ovation for because he couldn't field a ball at third.
Yeah.
If you remember that.
Yeah. But back-to-backs. I mean, he's had 2 back-to-back good seasons. I mean, just getting better from there.
Give me the OPS numbers. Give us the slash.
So just from last year, on base percentage in 2023 is 327, slugging 437, OPS 765. Last year, which is 2024. I'm sorry, just passing 2024.
Yeah.
Batting average 280, on base percentage 332, slugging 448, OPS 779.
And that's usually the average too for an OPS for a Major League Baseball player.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be opposed to it. It's just I think Ryan Presley does put into that trade if that does happen, because the Phillies too would need a closer, but I don't know after that.
Just something to look for. I mean, again, at the end of the day, we're not making the decisions, right? It's just something to think about, debate about, give your thoughts, all that good stuff.
Let us know what you want for third base. But before we move on to the Astros 40-man roster, a little couple of comments from Jim Crane. This is per Chandler Rome when Crane did finish his press conference about Daikin Park. I wasn't able to make it at that time, but they were there. But this is from Chandler Rome's tweet quote. This is from Jim Crane. We want to try and field the best teams we can without going crazy. Some of the payrolls are pretty high for the bigger teams, but I think we were the 5th highest payroll. That's the first time we've done that. We have the wherewithal to do if we need to do it, end quote. The next one was about Alex Bregman. Any moves or anything like that. Another, this is coming from Chandler Rome's tweet. Quote, Jim Crane said there is nothing to report on negotiations with Alex Bregman. Crane said Dana Brown and Scott Boras have been visiting frequently. Crane said he talked to Boras once earlier this winter.
And that makes sense. They're not going to give away too much, because if they say,
they're not going to give the hand.
Yeah, so I mean, it makes sense. Like, they're not going to expose themselves and say, "Oh, we offered him this much, so another team can offer him more, more years." So, I mean, it just makes sense, keeping everything close, quiet until a deal is finally done. Yeah, so expect.
Yeah, you're going to hear a lot of these rumors, especially one coming from Michael Kay. If you have seen that tweet of, not even a tweet, but people have been talking about Juan Soto and the contract that the Mets are going to give him. Like, I think they said 700. Talking about him, or it was 660. I mean, there's a bunch of rumors out there. Nobody knows the real details. Only the front office in the organization, owners, and all that type of stuff know that them type of answers.
Yeah, but it's just this is the exciting part about baseball. I mean, yes, the games are exciting for fans, close matches, but the off season too of knowing what your team's gonna do and stuff like that. So yeah, just stay tuned. And any updates, any big moves, we have you covered here.
Of course, the only podcast that has you covered. But Astro Wharf Craig did say he wants some of that stuff Boris is smoking.
Yeah, I think that was about your comment about Boris saying that Alex Bregman and
300.
Yeah, 300. I was saying that's not happening.
Kind of thing he's smoking, you think? It's kind of grass.
I mean, it's just a business move as a negotiator. You're gonna start high, maybe.
It has hurt Boris at the and time to time. Just think about last year, Blake Snell and Jordan Montgomery just didn't go well out for them with their
Chapman
contracts. Yeah, Matt Chapman as well, but maybe this is a different technique and tactic that Boris is going with for this offseason.
Absolutely, we'll just see.
Yes, but to round off the Astros news, the 40-man roster, of course, was coming in today, but the Astros have added left-handed pitcher Colton Gordon to their 40-man roster. The deadline to protect eligible minor league players from the 2024 Rule 5 draft is today at 5 p.m. Central Time. If you're listening to this on Wednesday morning, then it was yesterday at 5 p.m. Central Time, which I think that was a good move for the Astros to keep Gordon. He's a really great lefty. He could come out of the pen, and usually he's put into starts, but not a bad record. 8-2 record, 3.34 ERA through 123 plus innings, a career opponent batting average of 226. So, man, this kid does have some stuff, but of course, it's just being halted at the moment for all these major league pitchers that the Astros have on their roster.
Yeah, I think Gordon was going to be one of those guys that was moved with the Rule 5 draft, so just protecting them there is good. And you never know. Some guys have been brought up from AA to come pitch for the Astros. Luis Garcia, I think he had 2 this past season for the Astros. So it's just saving the bullets there, saving a guy who you think might be able to make a contribution to the Astros either this year or next.
Yeah, and then plus, I mean, they could be a trade piece too. Don't forget about that. Yeah. But yeah, he is protected. He is not going anywhere. I think the other guy that the Astros and MLB Pipeline, which focuses on minor leaguers for MLB teams, is another guy named Alex Santos II. And this is a guy that we've talked about, at least on social, with his numbers. He's participating in the Arizona Fall League. His team actually just lost the championship, the Sagueros or Sagüeros. Mm-hmm. I don't know which. I think it's Sagüeros, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, they lost the AFL championship, but the stuff is there. 2024, he really did get to pitch that much due to injury, but this AFL, I mean, he pitched really well. Let the Arizona Fall League, let that league in strikeouts and his stuff. I mean, got a good fastball, got good movement on his off speeds. So that's another guy the Astros could be looking into. I don't know what's taking so long to add this last player, but there is one player still to be determined who's going to be on the 40-man.
Well, when did Alex Santos get drafted?
He got drafted in 2020, when the COVID year. He's a second-round pick.
Oh, I think he should be fine. I think next year he would have to be on the 40-man roster.
So you think he's safe?
I think he's safe right now. Yeah. It's after 5 years in the minors is when you get that's what's called the Rule 5. Because after your 5th year of minor leagues without being once in the 40-man roster is when you're eligible to get picked up. But
gotcha.
Yeah, I think he should be good. No, yeah, because I think that's one guy the Astros are already impressed about. So I think if he needed to be on the 40-man roster, he would.
Yeah, I think Boris is smoking next level cigarettes. What kind of next level cigarettes do you think that would be? Would that be Jules?
Could be. I don't know. I don't smoke.
Well, I mean, you do work at a school. And there's some kids that break the rules.
I teach elementary.
Oh, shoot.
All right. Is it time for Around the Horn? Yeah, let's do it. All right. So Around the Horn, the biggest news that have been for this week is the Rookie of the Year and the Manager of the Year. And Luis Gil was unanimous for Lorenzo and I, winning the American League Rookie of the Year. 2 other players also got votes as well, but I think we cruised by that. It was the other
Yeah.
votes for Colton Cowser. It was a close race. Luis Gill had 15 votes, 15 first place votes. Colton Cowser had 13 first place votes. Second place votes, Luis Gill had 10, Colton Cowser 11, and then 1/3 for Luis Gill and 3 for Colton Cowser. At the end of the day, Luis Gill won by 5 points, 106 to 101. Austin Wells also got a few votes. So did Mason Miller from the Athletics, Kate Smith Guardians, Willier Abreu Red Sox, and Wyatt Langford got votes as well. But how we gave our predictions, we had Luis Gill. I think it is, I think with those three guys, like with Colton Cowser, Luis Gill, you couldn't have gone it's anybody's game. However, the surprise one came from the National League. We had both of us had Jackson Merrill winning that one, and Paul Skeens win it comfortably, 23 first place votes to Merrill's 7. What do you think about that one?
I mean, it's cool.
That's
just
it.
like Paul Skeens said, I think that's what he said, if I'm not mistaken. Just a chillax answer of winning one of the coolest awards as a rookie. And he just, I think it was like a 1 or 2 worded answer. But yeah, Skeens, I mean, had a great year. I think I'm still strongly about Jackson Merrill, and we've talked about this off air, but we can talk about a little bit on here. I already said the kid already moved positions, started the season off in Tokyo in the opening day of 2024. Very consistent throughout the whole season, all-star as well. Now, if Paul Skeens would have been like this in the beginning of the season, like on the opening day roster, then obviously, yeah, I think he would have won by a landslide. But I think, man, it was like we said, you really can't go wrong. But I mean, Jackson Merrill, for me, that one was kind of like, ooh, like I think he could have won it. Obviously, Skeens did win it, but I mean, Paul Skeens is just electric. From last year in the College World Series to now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, very deserving though.
Pretty impressive run, honestly. Yeah. Shout out to him. And we got manager of the year too for the American League. I guess we'll start with the American League as well, since the Astros play for the American League. Stephen Vogt won it comfortably as well. 27 first place votes. Macataro had 2, and AJ Hinch had 1. Joe Espada did receive 1 second place vote and 3 third place votes, giving a total of 6 points. So he came in fourth in that end. But yeah, I think that was pretty well deserved what Stephen Vogt did to the Guardian team, taking them from fighting for first place, winning the division, moving to the second round of the playoffs. What he did with that bullpen was nice. And I think as a catcher, like just like AJ Hinch was a catcher too, I think the way they manage the game, being a catcher for so many years, because again, the catcher is the leader of that infield. They see everything from the front end, just the decisions they make, the way they play the game, the way they think about the game. It's pretty phenomenal stuff.
Yeah, so if you're a former catcher out there, hey, might as well put your name in them manager talks, man. Shoot. Absolutely. Team Maldonado could be a possible guy.
Yeah, could be. Well, Yadier Molina's managing.
He's managing in the Puerto Rican Winter League right now.
Rico, yeah. And he also managed the Puerto Rican team in the World Baseball Classic. I'm not mistaken either. So, yeah, there you go. But Stephen Vogt joins former Astros manager Hal Lehner, Dusty Baker, Joe Girardi when he was with the Marlins, Matt Williams, Jeff Bannister, Troy Lubello, Rocco Baldelli, and Skip Schumacher as managers to win Manager of the Year in their first season. So that's a pretty good list right there.
Yeah, just think about it too. Torey Lovullo not too long ago. Rocco Baldelli, Skip Schumacher was what, 2 years ago? Like
Skip Schumacher was 2023 last year.
Yeah.
So
no. 2022.
Was it 2022?
Yeah, that's when they made the playoffs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, impressive list. Pat Murphy on the other end won the National League Manager of the Year. I think that was pretty good too. Mike Schmidt came in second, with Carlos Mendoza coming in third. That's that one. And then,
real quick, Joe Espada getting that fourth spot. I mean, yeah, that does make sense, I would say.
I think Carlos Mendoza makes sense too with their place. What do you think about that list?
Yeah, that one was kind of tough too. Give credit to Mike Schilt though too. Almost made a run in that NL Central with the Dodgers. I mean, he had a really great team. Maybe Carlos Mendoza for me would have been second, just for the fact what they had to go through from just almost the same thing as the Astros scenario. Like, think about that. So, yeah, I think I would have, if I had a voting, I would have done Yeah, you obviously the winner would be Pat Murphy for me because I think I did say that.
Yeah, you did.
But I would go with Carlos Mendoza, Mike Schill. American League, I mean that's fine. I think AJ Hinch does get. He should have been a second, but that it was an AL Central Manager of the Years right there. Macataro did an impressive job. The Royals haven't been to the playoffs since 2015, so yeah,
When they won it,
drought, 9-year drought. So, I mean, at the end of the day, they're all well deserving to those guys.
Yeah, anybody, honestly, I wouldn't be opposed of anybody winning. So yeah, pretty good. And then a former Astro is in Citi Field for next year. Jose Siri was traded to the Mets from the Rays. He contributed pretty good with the Rays. So I think that's a pretty good pickup by the Mets. I think he's replacing Harrison Bader's role too. So pretty good there.
Yeah, I think. I mean, the arm is there, the speed's there. I mean, everybody.
It's just a bat.
Yeah, everybody from Houston already knows the way he plays, the passion he shows, the El Rayo, as his nickname is. He brings the lightning, the electricity too when he steps onto that field. He's a very energetic player.
Yeah,
and that team already itself is energetic.
Yeah, with Francisco Lindor, Dr. Smiles up in there. So yeah,
Dr. Smiles,
Mr. Smiles, is it?
Yeah, Mr. You're thinking of Dr. Smooth?
That's why I'm getting confused.
Yeah, Mr. I mean, they were former teammates, Michael Brantley and Francisco Lindor. To end it too, on that note, Citi Field is going to be having Post Malone and, if I'm not mistaken, Jelly Roll.
Oh, really?
Concert out there, yeah.
Are you gonna go or what?
I mean, I'm not going all the way to New York. If I'm going to go, it's going to be in Texas. But San Antonio, if people from Texas are listening to this, it is going to be in San Antonio and Dallas.
Man, speaking of country music, I was looking for Zach Top tickets for the San Antonio Rodeo. Yeah, pricey.
Just like that, I bet too.
Yeah.
Hey, you never know. He could be coming to the Houston Rodeo.
I think so.
You never know.
I think if he goes in if he's in San Antonio Rodeo, I think he'll be in the Houston Rodeo. So I'm gonna have to get with you for those tickets. I'm just kidding.
Just think about it too. And George Strait has started just at the Houston Rodeo, and look how big he is. Yeah. King of country for a reason. Yeah. King of country for a reason.
But is that it? Early
that
show?
Is it. Oh my gosh.
43
we did not
minutes?
have an hour show for the first time in like forever.
I think there was like a consecutive streak. I think it was above double digits for sure. Like a double digit consecutive streak of going over an hour.
I mean, it was consecutively, I would say.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Like 2, 3, 4. But this will be back to back under an hour because our last episode was with Astros Spanish broadcaster Francisco Romero. So if you have yet to listen to that interview, that one was really, really cool to be a part of. We had him talk about his broadcasting story, how he got the job, of course, the influence, Astro talk, of course, and some of his favorite memorable calls. And one of them, God, it touched my heart when he was telling us the one memorable call, the favorite one he's done. You just got to find out which one it is, and just go out and check it out.
Yeah, tune in. Yes. Really good story.
Yes, and he does have his own podcast called Beyond the Mic, so go check that out too. He'll be doing that off season. A little bit of off-season stuff like that without talking about the Astros. But, yeah, man. End of the show, like Angel said, up there on top of his head. It's where you can find all our social media platforms. Instagram is FSA Full Steam Ahead, but the others are Full Steam Ahead. Hit that subscribe button. If you haven't subscribed to us yet, we are still getting these intros, these interviews, all that type of stuff. We're going to have some players try to hop on this off-season. Maybe one of the players too coming is going to be a guy that possibly we're going to be talking about soon. Possibly. So stay tuned. You just hit that subscribe button to make sure to get all of that. And like Angel said too, up there above my head, that's where you can listen to our podcast from Spotify to Apple Podcasts. Angel, am I missing anything?
No, I think that's it. I think just thanking everybody for tuning in. We appreciate our support. I know it's the off season gets a little slow, but tell your friends about it. We're still I'm sure some people never get tired of Astros baseball, and bring them to us. Share your wisdom about the best podcast that talks about Astros baseball is right here. Spread the word, and we appreciate everything.
yeah, we get all this info to share with y'all, the audience. I'm being biased here, but I do think we are the best podcast out there on and off the field. We're giving you the best coverage, the interviews. Like I had mentioned, the off season is going to be a grind, but we're going to make it fun. We're going to make it interesting. Tomorrow, we will have our number 9 on our top moments for the Astros of the 2024 season. Spencer Arrighetti started off pretty hot, man. 13 strikeouts against Boston.
I wonder what's going to top that.
Yeah, shout out to Zane, Szane, right? If I'm not mistaken, that's his Twitter handle.
Yeah, I think so.
Shout out to Spencer Arrighetti, but yeah, he even also liked our tweet on that. But until then, y'all just stay around. Have that video tomorrow. Who's gonna be number 9? Like I said, interviews and all that. Hit that subscribe button, and we will talk to y'all maybe later in the week. Doubt it. If we don't, have a blessed, safe week, and we will talk to y'all next Monday. See you soon.
Peace.